Good day. We begin with a major development in global trade. President Donald Trump has signed a new trade agreement with Vietnam, which the White House describes as one of the fastest-growing emerging economies in the world. This deal could reshape supply chains across Asia and strengthen bilateral commerce. The agreement imposes a 20% tariff on Vietnamese exports to the U.S., and an additional 40% on goods rerouted from countries like China to bypass existing controls. In return, the U.S. gains duty-free access to the Vietnamese market and secures over $2 billion in agricultural purchases, including peaches and nectarines. The announcement triggered immediate market reactions. Companies like Nike, which rely heavily on Vietnamese manufacturing, saw shares rise nearly 3% after the news broke. Additionally, the agreement is expected to attract new American investment in Southeast Asia, led by private sector projects and energy cooperation. But that's not the only trade front showing movement this week. The United States has also reached a key truce with China, focusing on strategic raw materials and technology relief. For more on that, now we go to our colleague Melvin Kov for more insight on these agreements.
Hello, Charlotte. Here are President Trump's main achievements and trade developments in recent days. Trump secures trade deal with Vietnam. On the 2nd of July, former President Donald Trump announced a key trade agreement with Vietnam, significantly reducing tariff tensions between the two countries. Key highlights of the deal. The U.S. will impose a 20% tariff on most imports from Vietnam, replacing the previously planned 46% set to take effect on the 9th of July. Vietnam has agreed to purchase over $2 billion worth of U.S. agricultural products, including peaches and nectarines. American products, especially SUVs, industrial machinery, processed foods, and beef, will gain tariff-free access to the Vietnamese market. A 40% tariff will apply to goods rerouted through Vietnam from third countries like China in an effort to curb transshipment. According to Trump, the deal is a win for American farmers and workers and is aimed at reducing Vietnam's soaring trade surplus with the U.S., which exceeded $123 billion in 2024. Trump made the announcement on his Truth Social platform, praising Vietnamese President To Lam as a great partner throughout the negotiations. The agreement is part of a broader White House strategy to reshape global supply chains and put pressure on China through secondary trade routes. With this move, the Trump administration aims to reinforce its policy of reciprocal tariffs and finalize additional trade deals before the 9th of July deadline. That's all from me for now. Reporting from Washington, I'm John Robert. Thank you for staying with us. Back to you in the studio, Charlotte.
Thank you, Melvin Kov, for your report. John, what are the implications for the tech and education sectors? In summary, the China deal focuses on strategic raw materials while excluding sensitive military use components. A key deadline looms on the 9th of July, when the moratorium expires and new terms may be announced. That was our special report on the most important trade developments this month between the United States, Vietnam, and China. I'm Charlotte Jones, and now we return to the main studio.